What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. If there's one thing I want to accomplish with this podcast more than anything else, other than hopefully making some meaningful difference to someone listening, the main thing for me, selfishly, would be to find more people like myself. I hope for this to turn into a place in which people with qualities that I appreciate congregate. There are obviously many qualities I have as my true north that I wish to live up to and fail at often, a lot of which I've talked about here, but one of which I tend not to discount myself in the adherence to is the truth. I am a lover of it. And I think we can all feel the uncomfortable feeling in our body when someone tells a lie around us. Your subconscious knows and can feel it, and I have a disdain for that feeling. Partly because, unfortunately, I've been around a lot of lying due to a close family member. I love the truth more than I love anything else. And when I witness the willingness for someone to lead with the truth, my spirit bows to them immediately. So I guess I wanted to come on here today in a way to just process my appreciation of the truth, in a way to attract more truth tellers, and to share some recent experiences in which I am reminded of how much a lie bothers me. The first thing that puzzles me the most is that adults continue to lie. And obviously it's to bend the world to an unreal existence for which they actually haven't worked for. But I really wonder why we choose to shortcut to the appearance of something instead of actually doing the work into achieving and then being able to claim it for real. A lie at best has only 1% of the effect we hope it would have. Because again, the discrepancy is felt. So it's like we dirty our hands with a lie and don't even hit the intended mark. Weakened ourselves because we know we stepped outside of our integrity to present something that isn't so. And as well as weaken the bond with the person who sensed your dishonesty somewhere inside of them. And I get that doing the real work is hard, and a shortcut with a lie at least possibly gives us that momentary good feeling of faking it, like it's actually ours to have. And really, there's something to that feeling that might unlock the power of a lie if you are so inclined to tell one. It's just about switching who you tell it to. Because yes, if you lie and get to claim the achievement of something that you actually haven't achieved, like a stolen valor, then you probably walk around feeling the boost of that lie and its good feelings while continuing to pretend in front of others. But the problem is how you feel when you're alone and know it's an act. And again, if you are so inclined to lie and act out something that you are not, it would actually be helpful to not lie outwardly and lie to yourself in the dark. Visualize yourself greater than you are. Believe that lie and act out internally all the behaviors of that successful person. Pretend it and act it out. That valor, how would they behave? And the chances of you actually then achieving that success just skyrockets. Because you are using the power of that lie to make up the gap between where you were and where you want to be by acting it out. And then eventually you become it. But that does not mean that you lie prematurely before the achievement of something and display it outwardly. That external lie diffuses you. It takes away the chance of you actually doing the work to accomplish something in real life, because you can just give yourself the doses of good feeling by acting out a lie in front of someone. It takes away the need for you to actually do it. But it never actually helps you grow. But again, it puzzles me to see an adult who continues to lie because, as children, I think the first source where we learned to rely on lies was motivated by fear. We felt the need to cover up what we were actually doing by painting a better picture. So we learned to embellish or to omit or to completely distort information. We were deceptive to keep from getting into trouble. Simple reasons. So as an adult, if you continue to lie, the first thing I question is what fear lies beneath. You're afraid of losing your job, so you make up stories to your boss that fills in your competency gap. You're afraid to be alone, so you lie to your wife that fills in for your commitment gap. You're afraid of being a bad parent, so you lie to your children to fill in for your consistency gap. The fears, I guess, never go away, but they change in their magnitude. And the point is that the lie only gets us half the way. But our standards are so low that we are okay with just half. In this short life, instead of actually working on our competency, opening up about our commitment, challenging our consistency, we just take these shortcuts to long falls. And again, doing the work is hard, but living half a life is harder. Being half of what you can be is harder, especially on your soul. And that's what you're taxing every time you lie. And as I toot my own truth horn, I acknowledge my own stability in the face of these common fears. I've never been afraid to be poor or to just live in my car, so I told transparent truth in every job I've held. To the point where one of my bosses even said, "I wish you weren't so honest. Oh, why did you miss this morning meeting?" "I was sleeping. Sorry." I will not burden myself with the web of lies that it takes to support a mistake or a shortcoming. Again, I'm not afraid to live in my car. So what can you take from me? And I've always worked like I'm the catch because of my value. So here's my truth. Take it or leave it. You're lost either way. I've never been deceptive in my relationships. Though I share the fear of being alone and prefer not to end up that way, I will not lie my way into maintaining an unstable peace. I would rather be alone than to fool myself with a house of cards, a magic trick I play on myself that leaves me worse off than alone. Completely broken. An illusion that I create myself, somewhere where I forget it was even an illusion, and then the house of cards falls. And I've never been a parent, so I don't have much to say on that front as a true test of my character in the face of, a child's tantrum and the pressure to be a role model. But I hope I am wise enough to be the thing I expect them to be and don't expect any deception to carry that load. Other than fears, the second most contributing factor to continued lies that comes to mind for me is the ego. It takes a level of humility and silencing of the ego to not lie your way to an unearned spot, to not achieve status by faking it, to acknowledge the lack of your knowledge, to say I don't know, but I will find out, to not pretend to know something and just nod along, to sincerely ask a question in hopes of continuing to learn. That takes humility. It takes the silencing of our ego. So over time, the more you lie and bridge and act towards all you want to be as pretense, the less chance you will actually be those things in real life. And that weakened individual over time is extremely more difficult to be around. In my life, I maintain relationships with all walks of life that would scare off most people. I can love somebody through almost anything. The one thing my heart immediately stops at is a liar. I don't know how to move forward. I don't know what's real. And I don't play with illusions as a strategy. So again, my truth tellers, if this resonates at all with you, let's unite. Let's bring truth and honor back into the collective conscience. I love you, family. Please share the show to those in your life that tell the truth and those that can tell a little bit more of it. I'll talk to you on the next show.